Do 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 do. Banana. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Banana. All right, what do we gotta do first? All right, first we gotta go here. Gotta click this. Mute that. Pause that. Copy. Go down here. Paste. Put that in there. All right, close that. Go here. Paste. Post. Boom, boom. All right, that's up. All right, that's up. Close that. Switch this to live chat. What are you doing? Let's see. Stop. I'm on live. Stay right there. Stay right there. You can get one thumbs up. Thumbs up. No. No. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs down. You were supposed to give Dad a thumbs up after all he did for you today. What you doing? What you doing? We're going to say hi to everybody. All right, let's see who's all in here. We got 32 people already. We got Bluesman. We got Walter White. We got Circus. We got Andrew Scott. We got Geo. We got Lit. We got Jeremy. We got Kimberly. We got Lalo. We got Joe Mack, WR450. We got Drew. We got JP. We got Vincent Massey. Hey, you're getting in the camera. We got Charles. We got Trent. We got Thomas. We got Krusty Fish. All right, guys. A little pre-warning for tonight. The internet today has been terrible. I've been trying to go live since I don't know, for the last hour, since 7:30. Hasn't been happening. We've reset routers. We've changed routers. We've changed modems. We've ran speed test on it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening. I don't know how long. So if we end this, it could be up for 5 minutes before it goes out. It could be up for 10 minutes. Maybe we'll make it. Well, maybe we'll make it 30. I don't know. I'm not sure. But the internet today has been terrible. So we're going to try our best, but there's no promises today. So we're just going to hang out while we can. And if it ends, it ends. But at least we tried. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, Krusty? Finally on time for once. Glad to be here. Yeah, it might not be a great day to be here on time, though. I'm not sure how long we'll actually make it today. Hey, what's up, Dinked? What's up, Jay Reezy? Appreciate it. Got Lady T, and all the shirts I wanted. Oh man, that's great to hear, Trent. That's great to hear. What's up, people? What's up, Soil? What's up, Steve? How's everybody doing? Hey, you keep sneaking further and further onto the screen. What are you doing, huh? You can't hide. I can see your hair. Look at you. See it? I can see your hair on there. There you go. You have to stay at that level, and then they can't see you. Nope, they can see you. They saw you. I see your hair again. Princess GT in the house. Let's see. Let's see here. Definitely one of my top favorite channels. Hey, thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Best channel on YouTube. Thanks. So Princess GT is in the house. Yeah, she's in here. She keeps trying to sneak on the screen. She's trying to sneak over here to steal my phone that's on the other side of the desk here. Is what she really wants. She's not really trying to hang out with her dad. She's trying to work her way this. I don't know. She's trying to work her way this way to snatch the phone, but I'm not gonna let her have it. I love you. You got glitter on your forehead. How'd that happen? Huh? All right. Come on. Here, take these back downstairs. These don't go with me. All right, all right, all right. GT all day. Hey, thanks, brother. Ground control to woo. Let's see what else we got. Thomas. We got. I think I said that there right. Are we still playing? We're still working? Yeah, we're still working. All right. Sorry, we're off base today. Me and Princess GT went to a Comic-Con today. So we had never been to one before. And 2 weeks ago, just out of nowhere, Princess GT started making a cosplay. She's never tried to make a cosplay before. She's never expressed any interest in going to a Comic-Con before. But 2 weeks ago, she started making a cosplay. And she finished it like midway. Well, when she started making it, I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm making a cosplay. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And I was like, I never made a cosplay before, but she like made a full body cosplay out of cardboard. So I looked up and there was actually a Comic-Con coming in 2 weeks. I was like, well, hey, finish in 2 weeks and we'll go to this Comic-Con. Okay, it was like an hour and a half away. But this was her mask. It's off of Roblox. So it's a character off one of the Roblox games that she plays. So, and then we cut it all out and we put black mesh netting here so she could still see out of it, but it kind of covered her face. But pretty simple. We just used yarn to attach to the back of her. She had a full bodysuit on, made of cardboard, painted up like that. It was funny that I didn't know if we would see anybody that was dressed up like her. Literally, as soon as we got out of the car, there's 3 people from the same Roblox video game, that Dandy's World that character's from. I know. I'm old. What do you want? I'm not down with what the new kids say. Quick question. Let's see. What's up, everybody? Hey, Smoke Ring. What's going on, brother? Hey, what's up, Crip? Quick question then. Can using recharge once a month be a substitute for molasses? Yeah. So the recharge actually has blackstrap molasses in it already. Currently using Great White every 2 weeks. Just don't want to mess with the molasses. Yeah, the messing with the molasses sucks. It's very thick, super freaking sticky. That's what she said. Brown. Mom's calling you.
Yeah. What?
So I get the point within it. It doesn't dissolve very well. So I get the point with the molasses. But yeah, the recharge already has blackstrap molasses in it. So whenever I use, like if I'm using recharge and not Great White, I don't add the blackstrap molasses once every month. Glad your head's feeling better. Thanks, man. It's still not all the way better yet. Like I still can't feel. See like how red the top of my ear is right here? I still can't. That's all completely numb still. I don't have any feeling in it yet. But before it was numb from like here up, and now it's just this top part that's red right there. See how it's like different color red across the top of it? I don't have any feeling in that. It's all numb. Good job, Dad. She can use it for Halloween too. She could. She's already wants to make another one. She's like, I had the best time ever. That was the most fun thing ever. And so next year she wants to go to the San Diego Comic-Con, which is really far for us. Wants to go to San Diego Comic-Con for her birthday is what she said. I said, well, you gotta have to make a really cool cosplay for that. Currently doing the happy dance. Happy dance. Man, GT, the Ragnarok's road tracks like crazy, and it's only on day 25 flower. Yeah, be careful with that, brother. Stuff's fucking vicious. First trim on the Grape Cherry Punch of Ragnarok tonight. Cool. Oh, that's awesome, man. I really like Grape Cherry Punch. That was in my fucking rotation for quite a while. Yep. Yeah, you don't need to use the recharge and the molasses together. They're like using the same thing. Same thing like whenever you start using diatomaceous earth, you don't have to use like Power SI or any of the silicas because the diatomaceous earth has so much silica in it. It's like 80% silica that you don't need to add another silica product when you already use the diatomaceous earth for your IPM treatment. It has the secondary effect that it's mainly made up of silica. So it's like 80% silica that it's made up of. So you don't have to add 2 products that are the same thing. Saves you a bit of money. Woo! What's up, Robert? Number 3, still doing the happy dance. Happy dance. It's the happy dance. Jay Reese's got that first place crown now. Any order over $30. There, Robert. It doesn't have to be one or the other. How's the race car Fox Body GT, dude? It's doing fucking great, man. It's doing fucking great. I haven't been able to race it since the beginning of July because all of July we were out of town for either work or vacation. So I didn't get to race it in July. The last time I raced was the very beginning of July, and I haven't been able to race all August because after I had the surgery on my ear, I can't race for 4 weeks. I can't pick anything up over 10 pounds, which is, if you checked out the picture I put up on Instagram with like how big the sour grape rock candy plants were in the big Gorilla Grow or the big Gorilla 5x5, they're huge. It's because I can't pick them up right now. I can't pick them up until I get clearance on September 9th. So they are literally like 6 foot tall in the tent. I can't move them to a different tent. I can't do anything with them. So they're just in there growing. They're probably about ready, to be honest. They're probably about ready to get hit with the electric hedge trimmer and just chop them all in half. Just and then start fresh. Oh. IMO2 is a preserved dormant state of beneficial microbes collected from nature, created by mixing IMO1 rice inoculate with wild mold and bloom, with an equal weight of organic mold and bloom, with an equal weight of organic brown sugar. The sugar's osmotic pressure pulls water from the microbes, causing them to sporulate and enter a dormant state, so it puts them into stasis, making them shelf stable for future use in Korea natural farming. The sugar also acts as a selective agent, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, it can be used to inoculate organic matter, compost piles, or soil to improve decomposition. Sounds like just... Let's do IMO2 versus mycorrhizae. Both IMO2 and mycorrhizae are both beneficial soil inoculants, but they differ significantly in their composition, source, and function. IMO2 is a diverse, locally sourced microbe mix used in Korean natural farming, while mycorrhizae are a specific type of beneficial fungus that forms a symbiotic relationship with plant roots. Mycorrhizae fungi may be present in IMO2, which is what I was figuring, but IMO2 is not a mycorrhizae specific product. So what would be the benefit of running IMO2 over the mycorrhizae when the mycorrhizae is doing the exact thing we want it to do with living on the plant roots, forming the rhizosphere? Function, decomposition, and soil building, primarily used to inoculate compost piles and build. Maybe if you're using like living soil, IMO2 would be the correct choice, because IMO2's main function is to decompose, and soil building, primarily used to inoculate compost piles and build soil structures by accelerating decomposition of organic matter, general soil health, broad spectrum of native microbes, soil biology, tells the nutrient cycling. Whereas mycorrhiza's specific function is nutrient and water absorption. Fucking, that's exactly what we're looking for. Extend the plant's root system by building the rhizosphere, enabling more efficient uptake of nutrients like phosphorus and water. Stress resistance helps plants tolerate drought and increase resistance to some root diseases. I mean, I can see if you're maybe using living soil, the function of or the benefit of using the IMO2, but I can't see it as a replacement for mycorrhizae. Like the mycorrhizae is like hands down. Maybe if you're in living soil, you're going to have to run that IMO2 for the cycling effects. But for people that aren't reusing their soil like that, I mean, it looks like mycorrhizae wins hands down every time. All right, so there you go. There's that. And that's the end of our reading rainbow session. I've just finished live packing my 5x5. I'm getting too old for this shit, dude. I saw there was one of our members. They built a Lazy Susan for. He's in a wheelchair, but he built a Lazy Susan for his 5x5. So all the plants sit in. So his instead of filling out into a square, his plants all sitting in a circle, and he just sits in one spot, and he can spin the plants to him, or just right in front of him. It's just using local mycos. Yeah, but it looks like it has different effects based on what it was in there, because the functionality of it was different from the two. I can't see why you couldn't use them together, though. You know what I mean? I don't think it's one of those things where you have to pick one or the other. I could see how they could work really well in conjunction together. What's up, GT? The Spartan Skunks lights out. Yeah. It's fire. Pure fire. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, pure living soil. Yeah, see, that's kind of from the write-up that I was reading. That's kind of what I was getting from it, too. If I was going to try living soil, it would be outdoors. That's kind of like already living soil. Oh, snap. Almost forgot to hit that like button. Hey, thanks, Jay Reezy. Yeah, here she is. There she is, all dressed up in her costume at the Comic-Con. That was like the full bodysuit. That was very cute. Oh, on a rail joins the Spartan Army. Woo! Thanks, brother. Earned that Spartan shield. I like it. Congrats on getting your new Spartan shield there. Your name will now be in green. Also on top of it. You can use together. Just might be a little bit of waste with the mycos is more expensive. Yeah, I get that too. That I could see that being the only downside. But if I was like growing the style I grow, where we're growing in pre-amended soil, we're not reusing the soil, so we're not really too concerned with the nutrient cycling or rebuilding or decomposing of the soil than what the plant's doing. I couldn't see ever grabbing the IMO2 over just grabbing mycorrhiza. You know what I mean? Based on their descriptions of how they work, the mycorrhiza is like to a T exactly what I'm looking for, based on the kind of short growths where we're not reusing the soil like that. I definitely am not saying that it doesn't have its benefit, but for the kind of grow style that I teach, I think that the mycorrhiza, just the straight mycorrhiza with what it does and how it builds the rhizosphere and protects the plant roots from stress, I think it's a hands out. It's a lights out choice that I'm going. It's a lights out choice that I'm going to pick just the straight mycorrhiza. Now I don't care which mycorrhiza you use. It doesn't bother me. Whatever sticker is on the front of the bottle, I don't care. It all works. It's all the same stuff. It all works fine. I don't care whichever one you like. I like it. All right, it works just fine. On the way home from work, just picked my first bag of compost out to try out. Clone runs next. Dude, I got like a buddy that they have like this compost like mixer thing out behind his house, and like all their like bananas and eggshells and coffee ground, and they just dump it all in there, and like once every like few weeks they go out there and they like turn it over and stuff. And in the wintertime it's cool because we'll be out there in his raised beds, and there's they open it, there's like steam coming off of it. It looks fucking wicked. Found some interesting spots on a couple leaves, and of course I have to leave town tomorrow morning for a day. Always when you gotta leave, it's something. Yeah, dude, like whenever I had all like the 120 ball pythons, like the day they always wanted to lay their eggs is like if I had to go to the airport and like catch a flight, they'd be like I'd be getting ready to leave, and I go down there just to check on one time, and there'd be like a snake pushing out 2 out of, and she's got to bring out 10 more eggs, and every time it's, jeez. I mean, the day I leave for the airport, I'm like, I'll have 5 snakes laying eggs. It was crazy. Every single time I had to go to the airport, they like knew. Hey, what's up, Pondy? Let's see. I Concur was my last. Spartan Scum was my last run, and it was finally pretty successful. Right, dude, I like hearing that. That's awesome. Michael's is more beneficial and more bang for your buck. I am always a little bit more budget friendly. Yeah, I get that. I can see what's like the price difference between the two, because we all know mycorrhiza is one of the most expensive parts of, like, it's not a nutrient, but if you put it kind of like in that pile of the stuff that you buy, because it's not light, it's not water, it's not, it's not the soil, but I kind of put in that like nutrient, because you get a bottle of it off the shelf, or you get a little canister of it off the shelf. We all know that's one of the most expensive things besides our time. That's one of the most expensive things that kind of comes along with this, is the mycorrhiza. So it's definitely not cheap. So I can very much get that aspect of it, of, if you do the IMO2, like if it's like half the price, I get it. How long would an auto 10-gallon feed from premix Gaia Green in the whole pot? So you're saying if you mixed up Gaia Green 10 gallons worth of soil with Gaia Green, is this soil that you've run before and re-amended with Gaia Green, or is this soil like Happy Frog or Ocean Forest or Strawberry Fields or something, and then you're putting, which you shouldn't do, then you're putting 10 gallons worth of Gaia Green mix on top of it? Which way are you talking about? Because if you put 10 gallons worth of food is for a single autoflower is plenty for the majority of the grow, using Happy Frog or Ocean Forest or Strawberry Fields, any of them. Now, if you were using like an inert cocoa or something like that at 10 gallons, it would just depend on how big the plant got. So what you have to remember is the bigger the plant gets, the more food it is going to consume. So it's a rather difficult question to tell you it's enough food, because what if you grew a monster? You know what I mean? What if you grew a 6 or 8 foot tall monster? Then no, it's not going to be enough food. But what if you only grew like a 3 or 4 foot plant? Yeah, it's probably going to be plenty of food. At the same time, we also have to think about, we don't actually know what the mix of ppm is in that 10 gallons. Well, actually, we would if we were growing in inert media and we used the Gaia Green. We would know the mix. But if you were using soil with pre-amended, then you wouldn't know what was kind of all in there. Germany and Rockwool for the first time is supposed to take the wrapping. You don't have to. You can. Did you buy it in the single cubes, or did you buy the big tray of it? I know people that do both. I know people that leave it on there, and I know people that take it off. Can I make Microbes tea from the grainy kind? That's called granular. Whenever you buy it, where it's all like rock stuff, yeah, it's got the big chunks of it in there. That's called granular, and you can mix it up in there, and it will dissolve. It works really well if you just sprinkle it on top and then water it in. The big thing is, don't ever use the granular if you're using any kind of like auto watering system, like if you got the little jet sprayers or the drip systems or the pumps, any of that kind of stuff. Don't ever use the granular stuff, because it clogs everything up. How's the purple ghost candy and banana jelly seed cross going? Dude, they're growing. I've got them in a 4x4. They look fucking beautiful. I started off with 10 each. Then I killed one of each of them in seedling because we don't bring the week along with us. And then they are in week 5 of veg right now. And they are, I killed 2 more, I think it was like a week and a half ago, that were just, I didn't really like the structure to them, or they were a little bit laggy behind on the other ones. So I still have 8. I still have 8 of each of them. So they are looking fucking amazing though. A bag of Microbes lasts you a long time. Yeah, so that's the other, you know, while it is expensive, it does last a while. It would depend on how many plants you get. Like I go through it pretty quickly whenever we're dealing with mycorrhiza, because I have 54 plants in my grow room. So every time I transplant, you know, not only am I using it every other week in my water, every time I transplant, I'm also sprinkling it on the roots. But like I'll take a, you know, I take a knife and I'll cut the roots all up. I'll bottom the roots, and I'll cut the bottom 2 inches off the whole plug on the bottom to bottom the plant. And then I'll take Micos or Great White, whatever, and I'll sprinkle it all over the root ball. So I actually go through quite a substantial amount of it. And then I sprinkle a little bit in the bottom of the pot where I'm going to put it on, and then I backfill it in with the soil. So you want the big tray? Yeah, you don't have to. You can. I know people that leave it on. I know people that take it off. So you can do it both ways. Yeah, but see, whenever the soil is outside, you have a lot more room, and you got Mother Nature out there. Inside, we have to be Mother Nature, so it's a little bit different. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I live in Thailand, American. I just bought 25 grams of good weed for $24. That is fucking cheap. Jesus. At the dispensary right down the street from me, 3.5 grams is $71 for an eighth. Top dress or en routes for transplant with granular. Yep. Yeah, that's crazy cheap. That's awesome. Yeah, I used the grow dots we had that secret growing in plain sight grow in the living room, where I took Ragnarok seeds and I threw them in one of my wife's potted plants that didn't have a fucking plant in it. And I just dumped a thing of grow dots in there, and that's it. I wasn't testing the pH. I wasn't testing the ppm. I was just getting water out of the sink, and it was just living off sunlight. And whenever I finally cut the plant down, because she was like, enough is enough. I mean, dude, it was this big around, and it was like, I don't know, like this freaking tall and this big around, just hanging out from growing in the living room. Whenever I chopped it down and threw it in the trash can, it filled up the whole trash can. It was fun. It was funny. Cyber rock candy on deck. I'm so glad I kept that strain going. Just had a gut feeling, even though cash was an OMG. Yeah, that's cool too. If I show the plant, I can't show the plant. I was going to show the plant. If you want to see the plant, I got sour grape rock candy growing gigantically. It's on my Instagram. You can just WTTGC_CEO. You can go over there and look at it. It's in a giant 5x5 Gorilla Grow tent, and they are almost all the way up to the light because I can't pick them up. I can't transplant them yet. I can't do anything with them. What watering system do you use? I have a few different ones. I do a lot of just manually watering. I have an RO machine, a 400 gallon per day RO machine. I have 2 tents that are fed off of an air cube system with a giant 60 gallon reservoir that sits in between the 2 tents with the brain bucket right out in front of it. I change the water out of it completely and clean it every single week, because otherwise it gets gross in there and I don't like that. But for the other systems, I have a 400 gallon per day RO. It'll make me 5 gallons of water every 16 minutes. So I don't have to spend a ton of time waiting for the RO machine to pump water out. And I do a lot of it. I do 1, 2, 3, 4. I do 5 of the tents just manually with 5 gallon buckets, and I just carry them over to the tent. mix up my nutrients 5 gallons at a time, or 10 gallons for the really big ones, and then go about it that way. Or once a week, I change the water out on my 60-gallon res. If you guys want to see what that one looks like, I did a whole like setup video on the Air Cube. So it works really well. And the Air Cube powers the 6x4 and the 5x5. I like mixing amendments on the tarp and then yeah, that works really well. Are you familiar with the federal THCA situation? No? Is there something new to it? Federally, the legal status of THCA exists in a gray area stemming from different interpretations of the Farm Bill. While raw, unheated THC, not psychoactive, technically legal under federal. So it is technically legal under federal law. Proposed legislation issues to close this loophole. Boo! Boo! We don't want to close it. So it's technically hemp. Yeah, I live in walking distance of the beach. My condo is $205 a month. That's awesome. You guys got like king cobras and stuff over there, though, don't you? What are your thoughts on sprinkling the great white? Just get it in the plant. It doesn't matter if you mix it or top dress it or sprinkle it. It doesn't matter. Just get it in there. Brought homegrown should always be better than dispo weed. Oh, I 100% agree with that. Bought some grow dots because of that. Yeah, literally, that's all I did. I just threw them in the bucket, and the plants seem to be growing. Now, I didn't flower with them, so I can't say anything about that because I didn't do it. But growing in veg, the fucking plant grew great. Thinking of trying cocoa. Cocoa's awesome. We've done quite a few grows with the cocoa and had a really good experience with it. So. Crappy dispo weed got me growing in 2018, brother. I feel that. There's been a couple times where the dispo weed's super expensive and just tastes like hot garbage. Just hot garbage. Just terrible. Can be sold as hemp in non-legal states. Yeah. Yep. That bill, the farm bill, that's what made seeds legal everywhere, because seeds don't contain any THC. They're under 0.3% because they don't have any THC in them. So all canna seeds are now considered hemp. So I'm in Cali. Figured dispo weed should be decent. No, it's not. I've been all over the place and been to a bunch of dispos. Never once have I walked out like that was fire. Not one time. About the best reaction I could ever get was like, it's all right, it'll do. What up, Butters? I just don't like spending money, and now I love growing as much as I love smoking. Yeah, growing is like growing is like a really big aspect of my life. Something happens to my brain whenever I'm working with the plants. Like whenever I get my hands in soil and I'm sitting there just like physically working with the plants, dude, it's like something like my brain waves change, and all the kind of like stuff I'm like stressing or whatever about, it like I say all the time, and it sounds cringe or cheesy or whatever, but it's just I enter like some kind of like zen relaxed state whenever I'm gardening. And I am a guy that likes going fast. Anything on wheels, I go as fast as it can go. Super adrenaline junkie. And to say that I like gardening is like one of the weirdest things ever. But it just does something physically mind altering to me whenever I'm just like working with plants and we have like soil in my hands. It's just great. Growing gives me same happiness and more. Yeah, see exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But that's it. I have such huge benefits mentally from gardening, And then plus like all the people I've met, like all the really cool people that I've met on like YouTube over the decade that we've been running the channel. I really like talking to everybody, hanging out with all you guys, you know, doing all the consults. I get to see all the progression and how happy everybody is when they learn how to grow these plants and they don't have to, you know, they're like, oh dude, I got off so many medications because I can just grow my own stuff now. It makes me really happy. Packing up the bong with rainbow sherbet, dude, that's always a good time right there. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm old and lazy. Hey, brother, I get it. I'm right there with you. I wish I'm not too much. I'm getting the older part, but I'm not too much on the lazy. I guess I don't have time to be lazy. I only sleep like 3 or 4 hours a night, and then I'm right back up and going. Even the thought of not being able to grow raises my anxiety. Yeah, like I used to be on like 3 different medications for my ADHD and my anxiety, and then now I don't take any of them. Now I just smoke and then garden. It's like if I'm ever having like a shitty day or whatever, and I just go into grow room, I'll turn on some freaking music, and then I just start working, like transplanting or lollipopping or training. I'll leave out of there like an hour or 2 later, dude. I'm in like the best mood. I'm in like the best mood ever. Just being in there for a couple hours, I'm like, it's awesome. Because like I go to the racetrack to have fun too, but you know that's exhausting. But when I'm working with the plants, I come out of there, I'm like humming and singing, and as long as I didn't spend 5 hours trimming while I was smoking Ragnarok, and I can't read the computer anymore, it's all right. Growing is like my service companion. Yeah, see, exactly. It's not weird. I think it's part of what we were meant to be doing, interacting with the earth. I think there's something to that. Kind of like whenever you're like grounding with your shoes off on the soil, kind of like the same kind of deal there. It's one of those things where it like balances me back out whenever I'm working with the plants. Yo, GT, I just popped some Atomic Smash Cake and Blueberry Spacewalk. Both fantastic. Especially that Blueberry Spacewalk, man. That waffles and like syrup pheno that's in there is fucking amazing. What's up? What's up? Smoking some Magic Candy Mountain. That's a cool one, dude. That's with the collab for me and Chris. That one won a cannabis cup this year, and it tested out at 29% at that cup. It was great. He had the cotton candy pheno. Growing is the only addictive part of can. I completely agree. Of course, I don't know if I'm. There's some real weird stuff going on in the news with like, oh, it's addicting. I'm like, fucking no. It's just you feel better when you're on it. That's why you keep going. As someone that has practiced and taught meditation and martial arts, it doesn't sound silly to say you enter a Zen state when you're gardening. That's legit. Yeah, dude, it is. Like, I mean, for somebody that likes going fast and horsepower and stuff like that, I think that's where I mean it. When I say it sounds silly, it's because like I'm like an adrenaline junkie, bungee jumping, you know, doing whatever kind of crazy stuff I can. And we went zip lining across mountaintops, you know, this past summer, and we were like 1,800 freaking foot in the air. It was crazy. And then at the same time, be like, yeah, I really like gardening, and I do. I fucking tell everybody about it, and they're just like, that doesn't make any sense. F Big Pharma. Oh, I can get behind that. I've just had spine surgery last month, and I've only been able to do it without any med smoking. Yeah, that's awesome. Like whenever I did my ear surgery, they gave me like 2 weeks supply of pain pills, and I had the surgery on Monday. By Wednesday afternoon, I was done taking pain pills because at first, the first like day or so, they're like, yeah, you can't smoke anything. And I was like, okay, but they're like, after 24 hours, it's no big deal. But they gave me this giant bottle of 7.5 Vicodins, and they gave me 2 weeks worth of them. So they're like, yeah, take one of these every 4 hours, take 650 milligrams of Tylenol every 4 hours, and then take 600 milligrams of ibuprofen every 4 hours. So I was taking pills like every 2 hours the first day whenever I got home. Like they were waking me up to give me more pills to take. And apparently they're just trying to keep you knocked out because the vertigo is really bad whenever you have ear surgery. When I woke up, dude, the whole room was spinning upside down like this. Like if I was looking like this, the whole room was spinning upside down till it got completely upside down, and then it would reverse back, and it would just spin upside down. It was going like this. And I was like, holy fuck, I couldn't even walk. I couldn't see. My equilibrium was all messed up. But I woke up the next day and I felt so terrible just from the amount of like pills that I was intaking. So by Tuesday, I had like cut all the times down. I was like, I'll just hurt. I was like, I'll just let it hurt because, and it did hurt. It felt like somebody was stabbing me in the ear with an ice pick all the way into freaking brain. And for that second day, I cut all of them in half because I felt so freaking terrible taking a pill every I already don't like taking pills every 2 hours, taking a pill. On top of that, I was having to take giant horse pill like antibiotics. And then I was taking, what else? They had me taking something else too. I don't know. It was like a whole tray of pills. And I was having to take them like every 2 hours. I was just like, I felt so bad the next day. Like I was like, I feel like I've been poisoned. I was like, I feel like garbage on the inside. And the second day I cut it all in half and I started to feel a little bit better. And then by Wednesday, I took one of those Vicodins in the morning and I hate the way I feel on it. I was like, okay, that's it. And then I was like, bring me my other stuff. And that was the last one I took. And whenever I went to see the doctor the following week, he's like, are you doing okay on pain medicine? Do you need more of it? And I was like, I stopped taking it 2 days after you gave it to me. I was like, I haven't taken any of it. I don't like it. And he's like, I'm the same way. I was like, I'd rather feel the pain than deal with taking those fucking pain pills. I hate them. I ate 100 milligram gummy, and it's way better than a couple of Vicodin. I feel like jelly and smile like Cheshire Cat. Yeah, dude, exactly. I would much rather just take gummies. I fucking hate those pain pills. You know what happens if I eat too many gummies or smoke too much weed? I'm going to feel fucked up, but I'm going to be just fine. If I take too many pain pills, you're going to die. Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough week, but we're getting better now. Yeah, the doctor was cool with it. He was very cool. Almost missed the show. You made it, High Plains. Dude, the doctor didn't know. No, he was very cool. He was a car guy too. So he drove a Porsche. He's like, yeah, I've owned like 20 Porsches. I was like, you should come out to the racetrack with us. And we do like, he's like, I don't like drag racing. I was like, oh no, we do the curvy stuff too. I was like, come on out. So I think he's going to come out to like a Cars and Coffee with us, and which would be great first thing for him before he comes out and experiences like the insanity of us going 110 miles an hour into a left-hand super banked fucking corner. But he was very cool. Yeah, I get off pain meds as soon as possible. I'm the exact same way. I fucking hate them. I don't like the way they make me feel. I just don't like them. You forgot English. I did. I got so high that I forgot English. I could not read it. It looked like Chinese to me the other day. Hey, what up, Devin? Can't die. Yeah, exactly. You know what happens? You smoke too much weed, you get hungry and pass the fuck out. You eat one too many of those pills, it's game over. I know, because I used to be a fucking paramedic. I used to have to give fucking people Narcan to wake them back up. That was mainly with the H word they were doing that, but also with like if they were taking like too many Oxycontin, they had that same effect. Dude, it was like reading hieroglyphics. I'm not kidding you. I was so fucked up. I was like, my wife was like, I couldn't. It took me 20 minutes to put an attachment on an email because I had the email over on this screen, and then I had the attachment. I got two screens here. I had the email on this screen, and then I had the attachment on the other screen. I'm like, I don't know how to get it from this screen over to this screen. Like it fucking mattered. It's the same fucking computer. But I was fucking lost. Did you do the drop Friday? She's live, baby. She's live. The store's open from this Friday to next Friday. So it's live and running right now, brother. So the store is opened on the 29th, which was yesterday. It's open through whatever next Friday is. So is that like the 5th or 6th or something? No, the 5th. So it's open through the 5th. Oh, doing good, Robert. Doing good. Yeah, worst case, you pass out with the fridge door. No, I'd say worst case would be you fall asleep with the pizza in the oven and you wake up to a foot of smoke across your ceiling and the smoke alarm's going off. I mean, I think I heard that from a friend. That's way worse case than I'll take leaving the fridge door open all the time than having a foot of burnt black pizza smoke across my ceiling, waking me up to every fire alarm in the house going off. Right, and then they spring back like, bam, reborn. No, they spring back ready to fight. Usually they're mad and they start swinging because I ruined their night I ruined their high. Which one was that? I was smoking Ragnarok, but I was also busting apart all these giant colas I had taken down. What was it? It was the 5x5 after it was drying out. But I was smashing all these giant colas down and getting ready to go to the separator machine, and there's just trichomes flying everywhere. I was doing it for like 5 hours. Yeah, opioids make me super itchy. They make me feel like I have spider webs on my face. So anytime I'm taking pain pills, you'll see me. I'll do this with my face because it feels like I just walked through spider webs. I made 4 orders. Thanks, brother. Appreciate that. I'm super stoked. We're at almost 50 minutes. I thought this stream was going to last 5 minutes if we were lucky and the internet was going to go out. We fought this thing for freaking an hour and a half trying to get the fucking stream up. One of each shirt and a few slaps. Thanks, brother. You know, the cool... Oh, what's up, Root? Yeah, you're just like dead. You're so like zapped of everything when you're taking those pills. I fucking hate them. Let's get going. Store is open and GT is selling some shirts and slabs and tent slabs. Put all his quality merch on with one of his one-of-a-kind designs. Hey, thanks, Steve Baker. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's another thing. You know, the shirts, they're up one time and one time only. Once I make a design, I don't ever make it again. So if you see a design you like, don't sleep on it. Can you drop a link so I can check it out? Hey, you can send me an email at tothegrowtent@gmail.com. But there's somewhere on this board back here, there is 5 letters that if you threw them into Google would take you there. Nobody wants to be Narcan. Yeah, they were always really pissed whenever I would Narcan them. I'm like, yeah, bro, you were dead. He's like, I would have been fine. I'm like, no, bro, you're blue and you weren't breathing. And you're face down in urine in a McDonald's bathroom and there's kids here. And you're face down in a stall. I was like, you're lucky an 8-year-old saw you and had his dad call 911. But yeah, they get up ready to fight, like physically fighting. So if we had one, because I worked in a downtown major city at night, if we had a bigger guy that had OD'd, and it was a girl medic unit responding, like there was just 2 girls on there, they would call in either PD or one of us to get into the back of the ambulance whenever they pushed the fucking Narcan, because they got up fighting, like physically fighting. Like we would have brawls going on in the back of the ambulance, and the driver would have to call the PD while we were en route to the hospital, and the PD would meet us en route to the hospital and help me, because like when you wake somebody up with Narcan, they are fucking pissed. And a lot of times you were in full out brawls. Luckily, I'm freaking 6'2", so I'm a pretty big guy, so I was okay. But I'd come home, black eyes and shit. We're just brawling in the back of the ambulance. I'm not talking like, oh, I'm trying to restrain you, sir. I'm talking about we're physically brawling in the back of the ambulance. Like it's somebody that I've hated, you've hated your entire life. That's the kind of fight that is going on. And when the PD would, the ambulance stop, and sometimes it was just my driver getting out to help. But other times, this PD, and they come back up, and they didn't even fuck around with them. They just fucking and tase the fucking shit out of them. And I'd be like, oh, thank God. It took you guys long enough. I was like, I've been back here fighting for 5 minutes. I'm waiting on my financial advisors, hashtag the wife, to release the funds. I get it. How many swung on you? I'd say a solid 75%. If it would depend on how fast we had to push the Narcan. So if we got there and they were just kind of like labored breathing and they were just out of it, I would take the Narcan, start it, and push it real slow. I'd push like 0.2 of it like every 2 minutes. On the other hand, if I got to a place and they were blue, face down, nobody knows when the last time they were breathing was, I am going to slam Narcan. I'm going to take 2 Narcans and I'm going to spray them up your fucking nose at the same time. And whenever we had to do those, when we get those guys back, they're fighting every freaking time because they were dead. They were dead. And they are going to fight every single time because they wake up so confused. And the last thing they remember is they felt great before they passed out. They wake up super confused. Their body is very hypoxic. They don't know what is going on. And all they know is you are the cause of it. And they are swinging every 10 out of 10 times. They are fighting. Every single time. Every single one of those guys are fighting. Now, the other ones where we push it very slow, we're only pushing like, instead of me taking 2 milligrams and just jamming it like that, once I get my line started, if I'll take like 0.2, so a tenth of it, and I push that, and then I wait 5 minutes. And then I might, if you're not waking up yet, I'll push another 0.2, because the plunger's just still sitting there in your arm on the line. I'll just 0.2, 0.2, 0.2 until I get you to wake up. I'll give you a few sternal rubs maybe after the second or third one. And then, but those people, 50-50. The other people, the blue people, 100% they're fighting. They are fighting, and they are fighting like their life depends on it because their brain is hypoxic. They were literally dead. And I don't know how long they were out of oxygen, but they're fighting. Dude, glad you took martial arts. I did jiu-jitsu. I've done karate. I did Gracie jiu-jitsu. And then I did karate for like 5 or 10 years. So, 5 or 10 years. It was like 5 years. I've had to call the ambulance for people ODing a few times. One of them was mad at me when I ran into her. Oh, yeah, dude, 100%. You wasted my $40. That's what they always used to tell me. You wasted my $40. And then they'd want to self-checkout out of the ambulance because there were some of them that like to ride the roller coaster. So they would do their 40 and then they would die. And then they would get Narcan and come back up. And then they would check themselves out. They would sign an AMA and get themselves out of the ambulance. Well, the thing was that Narcan you have to get into the hospital because it's going to, the Narcan only lasts so long. And what happens is the heroin or whatever you have taken gets in between your neurotransmitters and you stop breathing is what happens because the heroin sits in all your neurotransmitter ducts and your like your norepinephrine and stuff, they can't get through, which tells your body to breathe. And they literally just die because the signals aren't going through saying for these involuntary muscles to breathe. And you get so relaxed because it makes you so sleepy. And then those neurotransmitters can't get through because they're getting all blocked by the heroin molecules that you literally just suffocate because your body got so sleepy, the signals aren't going through that you stop breathing and you kill yourself, which is why they all turn blue. I'm not a paramedic anymore. I got I got too tired of seeing. I was in a major downtown city, and I worked at nights. I got really tired of dealing with shot up little kids, and then I got a 45 stuck in my face when I was trying to pull out somebody out that had crashed into a different ambulance, and I was pulling them out from a burning tree that had arcing power lines in it because they knocked the telephone pole over, and he was underneath of it, sitting on the ground, all fucked up because he was drunk. Under the tree, and I pulled him out from under the tree that was on fucking fire, mind you, with arcing fucking power lines in it, which is why it was on fire. And I pulled him out from it, and he threw his phone down, and he said, "Who told you could touch me, motherfucker?" And he pulled a big ass 45 and stuck it right in my face. I was like, "Hey man, fucking go wherever you want, bro." And he walked right back under that fucking tree with the arcing power lines in it. I hit the little emergency button on my, we on our radios, we have a little emergency button, and you hit it everyone, but it sends out an alert to every ambulance, every cop car, every supervisor when you touch this emergency button. And usually you hit them, they're all accidents because you just hit that button and then the alarms go off and then they call to check on you. Well, I hit it and my partner hit it at the same time, and they said, "Hey, was that, you hit your emergency button, everything okay?" And I just respond back, "Nope, send them." And whenever we said that it wasn't an accident, in the next 10 seconds, I heard sirens because we were right by a hospital. We were right behind it because they crashed right behind the hospital and they ran into an ambulance. I heard sirens. As soon as we said that it was an emergency, I heard at least 10 cop car sirens within a mile, all flip on at the same time. And they were at our location because as soon as we said it was an emergency, it pinged our location to all their screens and rerouted them from whatever call they were on right to us. And as soon as we said it wasn't, I heard sirens come on boom, across the whole city. And they were at our location, like, it looked like something out of a movie. They're like power sliding up and like stopping and jumping out. They're like, "What's going on?" Like, that motherfucker's arm and stuck a gun in our face. And dude, there was cops freaking everywhere, supervisors, fire trucks rolling up. It was an insane scene. I was like, you know what? I think I'm tired of seeing shot little kids, and I'm tired of seeing. I just got guns. I was like, I'm done. And that was, I turned my 2 weeks in the next day. Yeah, they fall back out because the Narcan wears off. Exactly. And then they die again. And then we have to go pick this same. We've had to pick these people up like 2 or 3 times in the night because they keep signing AMAs. We hit them with Narcan, and then they go get high again, or the Narcan wears off, and then they're passed out in the street again. And we've had to come pick the same people up. And I've had to fight the same people like 2 times in the same night. Oh, I don't miss that job. It was fun. It was always entertaining. I don't miss it. Yeah, block neuroreceptors. Yeah, that's exactly like so these are like your receptors right here in your brain. And then these blue things are your neurotransmitters that go back and forth. They send signals from one to the other one, and they go back and forth. And this is how your brain communicates and tells things that they need to happen. Well, whenever you take heroin or too many Oxycontin or anything, because Oxycontin and heroin, pain pills, they're all opioids. The heroin molecules have a higher affinity for sitting inside where your neurotransmitters are supposed to land. These little blue things, these are your neurotransmitter, like norepinephrine, epinephrine, stuff like that. And they're supposed to go back and forth and sit in these little pockets, and that's what transmit the signals back and forth. Well, whenever you take too many pain pills or heroin, the heroin sits in these little channels where these messages are supposed to go back and forth. And these messages can't get in there and dock and send the signals back while the heroin is sitting in there, because they get in there and they stay in there. Well, if you get enough of these in here blocking the passages, you can't say any messages to tell you to breathe, and then you stop breathing. Well, whenever you Narcan, The Narcan has an even higher affinity than the heroin does. So it will come in and it will knock these heroin molecules out of your neurotransmitter sites, and then it will take its place by blocking the heroin out, and it will start letting the norepinephrine, epinephrine, and a bunch of other ones to start going back and forth, telling your body that it can start breathing again. What happens is that stuff only lasts so long, and then once the Narcan gets out of here, the heroin is still in your system, and it starts jumping back into these positions when the Narcan wears off, and then you die again because you still have the giant amount of it in your freaking system. I graduated top of my class for paramedic school, in case you were wondering. And I finished with 2 years of college of anatomy and physiology and biology and acid-base balances. Whenever I got done with my schooling for paramedics, they asked me to be an instructor there to teach other ones. Hey, what up, ADHD? Oh, and then if you mix fentanyl into this instead of just the H word or the opioids, if you mix fentanyl into this, sometimes we have to give you, instead of 1 box of Narcan, sometimes we have to give you up to 8, because the fentanyl has such a high propensity for sitting in here. Sometimes we can't get it out at all. And no matter how much Narcan we give you, and you just die because the fentanyl is so strong that we couldn't get it out of there. That's why weed is better. Dude, hands down. If I could go downstairs, I'm not going to do it. I could go downstairs and smoke a pound of weed, and I'm just going to crawl upstairs, and I'm going to pass out on the couch with like a bag of fucking Doritos. Woo! Got through dinner and this is still going. Yeah, dude, it's amazing. Like, that's the reason, like, we're over an hour and I'm still going. So I don't mind, because I thought we were going to get like 10 minutes out of this stream before it would crash. I quit right around the time the Fent took over. Yeah, dude, it was crazy. Like, we would get a call. We used to get a call to go to a party. We had somebody that had taken too much of something, and we would just go give them a little Narcan, and then we'd be back on our way, take them to the hospital or whatever. And then I was a medic the whole time that the fentanyl thing was like starting. And then we would get calls to go to these parties where the kids weren't even trying to take any bad stuff. They thought they were taking a regular pain pill, but it was a fake pain pill that had fentanyl in it. And we would get to these parties, and they're like, yeah, we got 8 unresponsive people. And we were going into these like house parties, and there'd just be people, it looked like some kind of cult thing where they all took like the Kool-Aid. There'd just be people laid out everywhere. And back then, we used to only carry like 2 boxes of Narcan on the truck. We had to start carrying 50 boxes of Narcan in each ambulance, because we would get to these parties, and we were having to push like 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes of Narcan a person. And we were getting to these parties where everybody was taking the same stuff. And then we'd have, 8 people laying on the ground. And then we need 8 boxes sometime for each, because the fentanyl was so strong. The other part is they were taking pills that were like dissolving over time. So they keep getting time release more and more fentanyl. So we would get these people up, and then the next thing we know, they'd be back passed out again, because the pill was breaking up more in their stomach, and they were getting bigger doses of the fentanyl at the same time. It was just like, we would get to these scenes, and we were like, send everyone. And they're like, who? I go, everyone, because the cops, they'd have Narcan in theirs. The fire trucks would have Narcan. We're like, send everybody. We got 15 people that are going to need transport. And then we'd have to like call in other ambulance districts trying to, just for one fucking party. Yeah, I lost quite a few friends also growing up too, but that was just like that was before the fentanyl. That was just like regular, like H. Yeah, it's the mock pain pills, because what happens is the places, like other places, they make the pills look exactly like a regular pill, and then when they get sold on the streets, they don't know that they're not just a regular pill. So it was so crazy Yeah, it was like walking into Jonestown. That's exactly what that was, like that picture I was thinking of. You are a good teacher. I can see why they asked you to teach for them. You ended up being a teacher anyway, just for something else. Yeah, but it's still in my opinion, I'm still in the medical like field because I think of the plant as medicinal, extremely medicinal, and so I think of it the same. I think of it the same way, where I'm still in the medical version of the field. I'm just doing it my own way. You know what I mean? Yeah, I lost quite a few buddies to it. Well, I mean, through car accidents while they were on it, or just regular ODing, or some of the guys that when they were trying to get off of it, they pass away from just going through the withdrawal part or whatever. So stuff's awful. And then the fentanyl, like you're having a mass like extinction level event for a lot of these kids because they're just taking what they think is a Percocet or a regular pain pill, and then they're just dying. Top Gun paramedic school. Yep. I went and passed my whenever I remember the first time I took my national registry, which is it's like an AI based question. The test can turn off at the earliest of 60 questions, and then they just keep testing you based on the stuff you get wrong. My test turned off at 62 questions. I was like, all right, I either did really good or really bad. I did really good. Hey, Iron, send me an email at tothegrowtent@gmail.com, brother. That's the number 2, thegrowtent@gmail.com. I'm going to delete this off of here for right now. Don't think it's anything you did. We just don't. Just send me an email when we talk about that stuff. Just tothegrowtent. That's the number 2, thegrowtent@gmail.com, and I can talk about it with you. Yeah, never buy pills off the street. If you don't see those things come from a fucking pharmacy, you don't ever take them. Because, I mean, look, that's how like Mac Miller died. That's how Prince died. That's how all those guys died. Buying pills off the street, and then fentanyl kills them. I've been on Vicodin for over 10 years because I was worried about piss tests. I get it. Because, one's legal and one's not. I get it, man. I never understood why they want to kill their customers. It's bad for business. I think it's mainly because their main, like a lot of the places that make that stuff, their main business isn't that anymore. They have a different venue and they don't care because they never run out of customers. You're giving me incentive to get off them. I'm going to have my wife watch this tomorrow. I get it. But if you got piss tests to worry about, that sucks. Where I'm from in Massachusetts, the street looks like The Walking Dead. Yeah, dude, that's such a I've seen like YouTubes where people drive through, like they go to California or wherever, or where's that place? Is it in Pennsylvania? Is it where there's like those like Skid Row style seats, and it just looks like a zombie. It looks like The Walking Dead out there. It looks like a zombie. It looks like The Walking Dead out there. It looks like something out of a zombie movie. Oh, you're retired now? Yeah, I get it. Yeah, like it felt like I had somebody stabbing an ice pick in my ear, and I honestly think that my weed works better than any pain pill I've ever tried. Well, maybe not Oxycontin or Dilaudid. Like when you're in the hospital, like some kind of bad injury, that shit's fucking crazy. But it works better than all the other stuff. Like I'll take flour over the stuff any day of the week. Yeah, fentanyl is so cheap that profit margins outweigh their negative downside. Yeah, I get it. Because they have to use so little fentanyl. It's just insane how little fentanyl they have to freaking use. how little fentanyl they have to use to make it's like a bunch of the pill's like nothing, and then you got these tiny little specks of fentanyl in there, and that's all it takes, and it still kills them. Yeah, Kensington and Philly, that's where I'm thinking of. It's just like the craziest looking scene ever. It looks like something. It looks like they're filming The Walking Dead there, but it's just real people. It's just the craziest thing ever. Hydromorphine is great. Yeah, exactly. My Northern Lights is good for pain and anxiety. Yeah, if I'm looking for like pain relief, I go with my JCK. It works really, really well because it actually gets me to sit down and not move for about 3 hours. Or the Ragnarok works really, really well for it. I learned to grow from you during COVID, and I appreciate it very much. You always had very informative videos that I knew I could trust. The weekly grow sessions, and were super helpful for me. Thanks, brother. Love to hear that, man. All right, guys, we've been in here for over an hour. If you want to hang out some more, it's a good week to join us over at WTTGT. Can't express how good of a week it is to join over there. It's a really good week to join over there. The merch store is live right now over there. I got 3 different t-shirt designs, tons of stickers, slaps, all that kind of stuff. There's a glow in the dark sticker over there. Don't put that one in your tent. How about that? All right. I know somebody's going to, but just don't. Be fun or something putting that one somewhere else. All right. I hope you guys all have a fantastic time, and I hope you guys had fun on the evening stream. I had a blast. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.